We go. Welcome to Go Long Studios. And today we've got a special guest, Hunter Massey, my nephew, and part owner of Tequila Galan. Amazing. He brought me a bottle over the holidays. Dude, I was stoked. So I said, we got to get in and let the world know about this stuff, man. So how's it going, brother?
Going good.
Good.
Yep. Staying dry.
Staying dry. And that's hard to do right now in Houston. But anyway, man, tell me a little bit about the company. How it started. I mean, you guys, it's a 3-man company. Everything about it, dude, is got a uniqueness to it. So tell me a little bit about your representation of it and how you got involved with the company.
Well, it started back when I was trying to break into sales in the alcohol industry. I met Johnny through a friend.
Okay.
A mutual friend through the industry. She gave me his number. He met me for an interview. And even though I hadn't had experience in sales, he liked the cut of my jib and decided that I'd be good for the company.
Yeah.
And he liked my passion after trying the product. He saw that I saw potential in it.
Sure.
Worked for him for a couple years. And just my belief in the product and seeing people's reaction every time they try it for the first time. I wanted to be a part of that. So I saved up money, invested a little bit, got my own percentage. So I went from a 2-man crew to a 3-man operation. I cover California. Johnny's in Texas. Josue is down in Mexico, handling the legal and distillation side of things.
Nice.
So they do the paperwork. Johnny and I do the footwork.
Yeah. There you go. Paperwork and footwork.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've spoken with both the guys. I mean, Johnny's energy matches yours, so I it made sense how you guys linked up pretty quick and aligned. But Josue, I mean, his passion for the industry, his knowledge for the industry, I mean, it's staggering. But also, I like and respect the fact that if he was going to do it, it was on his own terms. And I mean, that's kind of what the brand represents. I mean, when you look at the bottle, it's definitely unique. Not like every other bottle. Doesn't have an actor behind it,
No.
or something. But dude, I was floored when I tried the Reposado. I mean, that one in the red bottle, that's the first one to go out of the 4-pack that I was sent.
That's a crowd favorite.
And we did a tasting with you, and it was kind of over a Zoom call or whatever, FaceTime. And one thing that that caught me on your whole sales process was, I mean, you don't put it on a pedestal so high. You let that put itself on its pedestal. You're very I'd say assertive in your presentations, and you let the product be the focus of the show. It's not filler words, blank words, quiet talk. It's let's enjoy this, and I want to hear what you have to say about it, because I know you're going to have a lot of good stuff to say about it. Right?
Yeah, the product definitely speaks for itself.
It's the lineup. Tell me a little bit about the lineup as far as is it 4 or 5? It's 5 products now,
5
right?
now.
Okay.
Yeah. It was 4 tequilas. We just rolled out the Mezcal halfway through last year. It's going well with the Mezcal.
So on the 4 tequilas, which 4 is it?
We have the Silver, the Reposado Cristalino, and the Añejo.
So the Reposado Cristalino. Tell me a little bit about that. That's different from all the ultras or whatnots, the reverse clarified products. Most of them are
Usually Añejo.
Añejo. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that difference being said, what do you think brings that Reposado to make it just much more unique and better tasting between the two?
Well, the process is pretty much the same. A lot of Cristalinos go through the charcoal distillation, the filtering through the charcoal. It removes color and adds more character to the body. It's just usually a different product, but typically with the Añejo, it's a little overbearing. So we decided to take our Repo because it's usually the favorite amongst all our clientele. I mean, it's my favorite. Went first at your house.
Yeah.
We take our Repo, which is already fantastic. We run it through charcoal 3 times, so it removes the color. And even though it's the same juice, you wouldn't be able to tell that it came from the same bottle at first because it's a completely different experience. That one is probably the most unique because I can't really describe it. People ask me all the time, like, what does this compare to? If they've never had it before, and I can't really say anything. I say you got to drink it.
Yeah.
It's all over the place in a good way. Sometimes
Hmm.
that can be a bad thing. Most times it can be a bad thing.
Hmm.
But everything balances each other out. All the notes kind of come together in a really nice way, and it's a unique experience. One that I've never had before, and that's part of the reason I was
So
ready
just
to go.
driven
Yep.
and gravitated towards that company. I mean, because that's cool. I mean, you started. Tell me a little bit behind that. Like, you were in the spirits industry because you've done, on the brewing side, if you will. You've also done the spirits side. Where did you get your start? I mean, you worked so in California. It's a little different than Texas. Texas, you got to go to a specific store if liquor's involved. But I'd love to hear your story because you basically got like just a wide net cast at you because you were dealing with every brand, right?
Yeah. Well, basically, it actually started in Oklahoma City when I lived out there. I turned 21, and it's kind of similar here. You have to go to a liquor store in
Hmm.
Oklahoma City to attain any kind of, real alcohol.
Yeah.
The laws are different now, but back when I was living there, it was pretty strict. So I walked into Byron's Liquor Warehouse,
Yep.
shout out, gave me a job, turned 21. I
Nice.
walked in as a customer and I was like, this will be a pretty cool place to work. So I just asked for a job. I said, you guys hiring? They're like, yep. Handed me old school paper application,
Yeah.
filled it out, got a job. I knew nothing about any form of alcohol. I was
Yeah.
fresh. I was 21. I'd already, we all
You
drank.
drank some alcohol.
We all
before.
drink. But in terms of knowing anything about it, when I got to meet the crew and I told them what I drank, they go, "You're not. If you work here, you can't drink that shit." So,
Nice.
uh,
What was it? I gotta hear. I mean,
Kentucky Deluxe,
oh, KD,
KD, old KD,
that a
yeah,
boy,
the eight, the
plastic bottle whiskey.
plastic bottle, $8 a bottle. Yeah, me and my roommate would run through 3 of those a week.
Hey, when you
Um,
got roommates, man, you would buy the lesser expensive stuff because you never knew how much the roommate was going to drink,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we
Yeah.
usually split it 50-50. So
Okay, there you go.
I would buy one bottle, he'd buy the next. It was a pretty even trade.
Nice.
But yeah, working there, it was cool to learn from the staff because there's different departments. There's wine, beer, and spirits.
Mhm.
They hired me as a beer expert,
Okay.
knowing nothing about beer, but that was my title. So
Yeah.
I learned a little something every day. I would, pick the brains of all my coworkers just
Sure.
because they'd been in it a while, and some people really passionate. But in terms of wanting to work in that industry, I realized how it was essentially recession proof. I mean, if you're happy, you're drinking. If you're sad, you're drinking. Your team wins, you drink. They lose, you drink. You get married, you drink. You get divorced, you drink. You
It's
drink on the
all facts.
birthday, you drink at the funeral.
Yeah.
And I also noticed in the same building, which is rare, there was one of the more wealthy people in
Mhm.
the area
Yeah.
in line, and right behind him was probably the poorest person
Yeah.
in the area. Didn't have a a bed to sleep in or a roof over his head, but alcohol brought both of them together
Yeah.
for a brief moment of time,
Yeah.
and that's something that most people have in common. So,
Yeah.
it's an industry that I figured was pretty safe in terms of career aspirations. So,
Sure.
I was on the retail side for a while, and after 6 years being in retail and stocking shelves and taking inventory, I decided I want to be in sales department.
Yeah.
It's tough without experience. But yeah, luckily Johnny, through that friend we met, he said he was hiring. It wasn't a lot. He was just looking for bodies.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting paid a lot at all. But
Got your
part of-
foot into the door.
got my foot in the door, and it kind of worked because that's kind of still where we're at in terms of ideas and values. Is I worked because I believed in it.
Yeah.
I had 3-4 jobs at the time. This was my passion project, so to speak.
Sure.
Um, and I learned a lot from him. If he opens up, this dude's got a Velcro wallet still. He pulls out his wallet,
Nice.
rips it open. Goes, check these out, motherfucker. He's from Spain,
Yes.
and it's a license to sell.
Nice.
It's a California license to sell. So he's got his selling license. He could sell anything with that. And
That is hilarious.
I learned a lot from him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he definitely has the energy, whenever I was speaking with the three of you guys. And now he's no longer in California, is he?
Yeah, he just moved to Austin 3 or 4 months ago, I believe.
Yeah.
He tried to get away from California traffic, but didn't do his research. And now
Yeah,
he's stuck
he went
in
to Austin.
Now he's in Austin traffic.
Oh, so it's worse because
Yeah.
they have two arteries. They have like Mopac and 35, and it was a shit show when I lived there, and it's a shit show even more now. So yeah, but I mean, I guess you couldn't move to Houston and get in any better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just add 8 million people. So when it comes to some of these trends that you're seeing, right? And everybody knows it's like another tequila. So I guess, talking about this first is, it seems like you guys in your growth plan, not necessarily your growth plan, but just your entering of the market has just been straight up boots on the ground, and you guys getting out there and being ambassadors and owners of the brand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, you going out there and you spreading that word. Because, right before we pressed record, you were telling me, the difference between a mass produced and a craft, a boutique kind of spirit. What was the thing that you said?
Well, I mean, it's hard either way if you don't have money.
Yeah.
And it's either you have money to pump towards a brand, advertising, sales, you're incentivizing distributors to prioritize your product, or you just get lucky. A lot of these brands that are mass produced nowadays, they were just like us.
Yeah.
Patron started out as just like this niche little, cool bottle.
Yep.
And the right person said its name.
Yep. In a song.
Yeah. And now everyone knows Patron.
Yeah.
And that's a hefty
big
aspiration.
Yeah.
Also to want to be in that conversation. But also there's a beauty in being the unheard of, diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Because there's now, right before we press record, probably 3 celebrities just signed on a deal for a tequila. They're coming up everywhere.
Exactly.
And it's just the boots on the ground. I get a lot of respect from a lot of people I meet in the industry, whether it be business owners that I'm trying to pitch or distribution companies that recognize what we do and they've heard about us here and there. It's a lot of hard work, but every once in a while, like golf, you play like shit for 17 holes and you get one nice shot, and that's what keeps you coming back.
Exactly.
And it's nice to hear from established, business owners like, hey, I was in your shoes, man. I walked those streets. I knocked on doors. I did what you're doing right now. And
dude, 100%.
And you not only have a good approach and a good attitude, but you have a fantastic product.
Yes.
And it's reassuring to hear. It's what keeps me going. I mean,
well, and I mean, again, it's like, to get to see that growth and control it, handpick the markets that you want to go enter, that you think you're going to get the support. Because, dude, back to the tequila you're just talking about, I'm good friends with the former vice president of a large distributor out here. And, he was telling me, because he was there when they got that brand. And like 2 months before, while they were doing kind of their launch party or whatever with their sales reps, they're like, how are we going to sell this? It doesn't fit in speed racks for bartenders. pour spout's not going to go in. You got to wrap napkins around. I mean, all kinds of pain in the butt challenges. And then a song came out, and he said he was working, during October and November, December. They're always kind of on premise at liquor stores promoting products. And he said some woman came up to him and asked, where's that so and so at? And he said it's over there in the tequila aisle. And she's like, I don't want tequila. I want that. And he's like, that it's a tequila. She goes, I heard it in this song, and I need to go buy a bottle. And he said after that, he's like, the reason they took it was because the previous distributor didn't want it anymore. And then they take it, and then 2 months later, a song came out, and next thing you know, I mean, it's a $1 billion company. It's just so wild. And so I think people nowadays are trying to, I guess what you would say is maybe just ramp up that whole process, right? No one knows about the blood, sweat, and tears behind brands or products anymore. They're just part of experiencing the success or recognizing the success. So, I think back to like just hard work is makes you appreciate shit more, And so to see where it was when you guys started, and then now you're in how many states?
We're still growing. We're in Florida, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, California, obviously.
Yeah. That's 4 more than 3 months ago when I was, talking with you guys. So I guess Johnny had, some success here in Texas. I didn't know about Florida, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. What city? I mean, do you know? So we will talk about because there are, when I want to get my fix, I go online and I can order it now. It's pretty cool. If by chance I can't get one when you fly home or to come visit at the lake or something, but the products, they're all available, or all 5 of the brands available like online when you go and you can look for them at those specific spots?
Yeah, if you go onto our Instagram, Tequila Galan, there's a link, and you can shop through various vendors, different stores that offer shipping and handling.
Yeah.
And they have a selection of all of our products.
Yeah. Must be 21, and someone has to be at home to sign for it. I know that.
Correct.
So, you take a day off if you want to get it. So that 5th one, Mezcal, that's kind of becoming the more popular. So as far as that, I mean, it's been growing in popularity, but how does your Mezcal differ from, say, the others of the world that have been there, kind of like a long-standing staple in that lineup? I mean, so what's, Josue being the distiller, I know he wanted to step into that market, and what was kind of the conference room sounded like when you guys announced that lineup? What were your fears, concerns, excitement? What was it?
Well, being in sales, I don't personally enjoy or like to put myself in the position to have to sell something that I don't personally like.
Yep.
And that being said, I'm not a huge fan of Mezcal, and by that I mean I fucking hate Mezcal.
Yeah.
It's usually like you're chewing on. You walk up to a bonfire and you just grab something burning in there and you just start chewing on it. Just too smoky. Also, not a big Scotch guy, so I guess that kind of goes with it.
Yeah, from the
Peatiness.
Elay areas.
There's a lot. There's just a lot going on. They're definitely acquired tastes. So when we had that discussion over the phone about that being our next product, I was a little worried, I guess you could say, just because I didn't want to have to lie to people. I mean, I was so passionate. I love every one of our tequilas, and I don't even have to, present it so much as just have the tequila present
set it down
itself.
and say, taste it.
Yeah, and with the Mezcal, I can't necessarily relate to people who like Mezcal like I can with tequila, so it would have been a little tougher sell. But once I got my hands on the bottle and I actually got to taste it, once it finally came in from Oaxaca, Luckily, Josue has a good relationship with a distiller out there that is the premier mezcal distillery in the world.
Oh yeah.
So the quality was so approachable and so different from what I was familiar with. It
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like my first time trying mezcal all over again, but it was a lot more positive on my end. Johnny loves mezcal.
That's his
That's
jam.
his go-to. If he had one thing to drink every day, it would be mezcal. So he was already locked in and ready to go. I kind of needed some convincing, but once I tried it, I was like, wow, this is coming from me. Drinking a mezcal and saying, "God damn, that's good."
Yeah.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
And it's approachable. It's not overly smoky, and it's really different because when you take your first sip, you obviously get that first hit of liquor, like always. And
Yeah. Yeah.
once it settles, give it 30 seconds, and once you reapproach it and take that second sip, all those initial abrasive flavors that were on that first sip kind of go away, and you get to explore a lot more underlying flavors. It's a really, really unique experience and something that I've never really had before in a spirit. In that first sip is, ooh, you get those chills, and then that second sip is like, damn, that is good. You get citrus notes. There's grapefruit. That's why it goes so well in a Paloma. There's an
Ooh.
earthiness to it,
Ooh.
and then just a subtle smokiness that, um, it's nice being able
It's
to
just
slide
enough smokiness,
just
right?
enough.
It's
Yeah.
not overbearing like someone put a cigarette out in an ashtray and then you drink
It's
the.
there. It serves a lot of purposes for the clients. People like me who don't like the smokiness
Yeah.
but enjoy a nice depth and flavor. It's
Yeah.
there. And then on the flip end, the
The people that
the
do like
smokiest
smoky.
of the smoky lovers, they still enjoy it very much, but they also enjoy that it is different.
Yeah.
So it's smoky enough to satisfy those smoke lovers, but it's also approachable enough to where someone like me can actually get in there and actually enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things to drink now, and just a splash of juice if you're trying to be mellow.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful, and I've never had anything like it.
So, I mean, it's risen in popularity recently, and it made sense once Josue compared it into like the whiskey craze right now, and how those small branded, real micro distillery spots with those whiskeys. And I didn't know it was such a competitive market to try to attain certain bottles and whatnot. But he had mentioned, and so like the second that I heard that, I'm like, okay, I need to go do this. But he said it's kind of like stepping in as far as an alternative for the non-whiskey drinkers that are, FOMO, fear of missing out, this whole like kind of micro distillery rage. And he said, take a look at an old fashioned mezcal. Take a look at a Manhattan with mezcal. And so I did, and dude, I mean, like, they're now making old fashioned mix specifically for mezcal.
Mm.
The Oaxaca chocolate bitters that I have at the house. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, it's amazing. And it just pops that mezcal. More so than a whiskey, right?
Mm.
Because you have that, like, there's that edge of mezcal that the whiskey really can't possess. But I think it's just kind of standing right there, right next to him, head and shoulders.
Yeah.
So are you seeing, some of these, when you go into these bars that are real craft cocktail driven, which one of your products are you seeing like just really stand out, like the golden boy, if you will? And aside from that, if it isn't mezcal, what are you seeing craft cocktails made with mezcal?
Yeah. I mean, anything from a mezcal mule to even, yeah, fantastic with that ginger. Mezcal mule's killing
Dang.
it.
Okay.
The Negroni, because gin I mean, if you do a gin Negroni, gin has that same kind of unique quality that Scotch possesses as well, and Mezcal. It's in that you love it or you hate it kind of deal.
So mezcal with Aperol.
Correct. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. A
I can see that just going.
Mezcal Negroni. I've been seeing those.
A bouquet of flavors.
Yeah. Yeah. And something simple like a Paloma. It just depends. With all of our products, they're all so unique and so just fine on their own in terms of just drinking them neat.
But they're a blank canvas. Too.
Yeah, and you don't want to do super complex cocktails because I always suggest 2-3 ingredients max, very craft high quality ingredients, because you still want to taste the spirit.
Of course.
Like our añejo aged in bourbon barrels makes a great old fashioned. And people, when I say that, they go, "Oh, damn, I never even thought about that before." And it's nice because with whiskey, you kind of have to let that ice melt a little bit to open it up and to get to drinking. But it helps with the tequila, with the añejo, but you can just pull that straight from the jump. And it's fun. It's just fun. I like visiting different bars that I'm familiar with the lead bartenders and they're in charge of the menus. And I like every quarter when they change their menus, I enjoy discussing like, okay, what's up next? And we experiment. So it's really, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and everyone has a different outlook on things. And I've learned a lot just by watching people work, because I enjoy what I do. They enjoy what they do. So I let them work and I provide the juice. And it's fun watching them make magic,
It's like every artist, man. You don't keep them between lanes. You let them drive in whatever lane, you're going to get better work out of them, right?
Yeah.
So when it's, time to, you said, so quarterly they'll kind of redo their menus and whatnot.
Some places go every 6 months, once a year, but
gotcha.
It's typically quarterly.
Gotcha.
Based on the season.
Yeah, based on the season. That's true. Yeah. That's true. So where do you see tequila fitting into the craft cocktail? I mean, because don't slap me down, but I mean, the majority of everybody that understands or knows of tequila, it's most of them, like, it's either drunk straight or margarita.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you mentioned it earlier. My favorite, the Paloma, is just the most refreshing summer drink there is out there. Not as acidic as a margarita,
Yeah.
And so as far as like fitting into that craft cocktail industry, I mean, how do you see it playing its role?
Well, with something as classic and beautiful as a margarita, typically you don't fix something that's broken.
Correct.
So you can take that base, lime juice, agave, and if you got a Cadillac, get your Grand Marnier or your Cointreau.
I like how you just said, though, lime juice and agave.
That's a solid base, and then you can work on measurements. If you would like, if you love a typical margarita, maybe tone it down a little bit on the lime juice and add some cucumber. It's just a good base because you want to start with something classic, and then you can play around. But I've even enjoyed something as simple as it's triple sec, tonic, splash of triple sec, and a squeeze of lime with the silver. Yeah. And it's very simple. Yeah. But it's light. It's really refreshing.
Super refreshing. That tonic probably just gives it a different.
Yeah. It's a little bubbly, so there's a different mouthfeel, but it also adds like a touch of sweetness that plays well with the sweetness of the agave that's already in there.
Okay.
As well as the triple sec, the orange. It's just all what you make it. It doesn't really have I've seen people, because I go in with my suggestions and they go, no, hold on. Come back in a week. I'm going to play with this.
Yeah.
And I'll have a really good, fun cocktail for you. So,
and so when you come back, I mean, tell me some of the cooler things that you've seen, like with these drinks, because people are always eager and anxious to learn new things with their spirits, right? Because I mean, taste buds change every 7 years, but you know, your love for something doesn't go away,
Mm-hmm.
right? Margarita, you know, you'd mentioned cucumber. This restaurant that Johnny needs to go to, and I worked there, and the family is from Oaxaca. It's called Curas, and it's all interior Mexican, right? But when I was working there, we were on the Food Network, I believe, because of their avocado margarita.
Mm.
And so it's wild. They have one of those soft serve machines, like, or the milkshake mixers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would just do their frozen mix. You know, they obviously have the margarita machine, but then they do their frozen.
Mm-hmm.
They'd add one more shot of whatever like tequila you wanted to kind of upgrade it with, but he wouldn't let you do it with silver.
Mm.
It's always like a bad boy, like añejo or repo, and then a spoonful of just avocado and a pinch of cilantro, and then he would like milkshake mix it.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, you think you're like, but dude, it's just like imagine a creamy frozen margarita, and it was like to die for.
Yeah.
People would come in and just get that. And so, but I remember, and that's kind of, I'd have to take it back and assign either what you want to call blame or be grateful for. But Curas was the reason of my love for tequila because just like you walking in that liquor store, he asked me, you know, what's your favorite tequila? And you know, I thought I was going to get thrown out or on the grill. Whenever I told him, I was like, I mean, I know Patron.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you know, it was just like, what is that? Like just nails on a chalkboard for him. But he had educated me about the Correjos Milagro. Like that one had come out, and I mean, the price point was great, but there's so many good ones out there. So like in a competitive market, you know, somebody's walking into the liquor store and you're working there as an associate or even a representative of Galan. What are you going to tell them that makes you guys different? I know it because I've gotten to sip the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hardest part is, I mean, because dude, once someone tries this, bro, they're hooked. I mean, they obviously see the quality like I did, like everyone I've shared it with has. It's just so unique. And there's so many notes in it that Josue concocted that it's just like, dude, like this is a G right here. If I'm walking in, I'm like, dude, looking at this price point, and what are you going to tell me just makes you guys different before I could, you know, if I couldn't taste it?
Well, I think outside of tasting, that's where, you know, we come in. That's where the Galan family comes in. Just like as when you go to a restaurant and you say, hey, what's good? You're kind of trusting them to steer you in the right direction.
Sure.
And we're such genuine people. I think that kind of comes off even with people that don't know us. And you kind of got to, that's where we come in. If you're not allowed to taste it, we kind of have to, you know, develop this bond with the people. And even if it's small, we just have to get their trust. And that's why I love it, because I'm not selling snake oil. I know for
you're not a
fact,
charlatan.
I know for a fact, if I can get trust by being authentic and genuine.
Yeah.
And once they walk out the door with that bottle, they're going to be happier.
And respect your recommendation.
And they will love the fact that they tried something new, because people also like doing it's hard trying.
They love it.
And with us, we offer very competitive prices. We have a top shelf product with, you know, a mid shelf price. And so that also helps
That's
enable
very
us.
true.
Yeah. It helps us, you know, break down that extra layer of trust that people aren't gonna spend $100 on a bottle they've never had before.
No.
Or even heard about. And not a lot of people have heard about us. So once they meet me or Johnny and they go, oh man, I just talked to the owner. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Then they get to go home, tell a story, and drink a great product, and they're blown away. And then that's gained a lot of you know, we're small and we have like somewhat of a cult following with our people. They don't all our bottles are different colors. They don't even know what the hell, because most people don't know what Reposado or Cristalino, they don't know any of that.
Sure.
And so they we have a black bottle, a blue bottle, a red bottle, and so they go, "Hey man, that blue bottle was awesome,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Thank you. I'm glad you. If I see him again in the store,
Yeah.
thanks for trusting me, man. I really appreciate the support, because it means a lot, and I do enjoy. Spirits are supposed to be a fun thing, you're supposed to enjoy a nice spirit. It helps if it tastes good,
Mm.
and I mean, with us, they're all infused with oxygen, so it's a very clean buzz too. You're not sloppy.
Yeah.
Um,
You feel better the
you
next
feel
day.
better, yeah. And I've turned a lot of people on to tequila just from our tequila. They go, man, I'd love to try it, but I like tequila. It doesn't like me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I hear that saying a
I
lot.
get a lot of that, and that's one of the common misconceptions in the tequila space is I like tequila, but
Tequila don't like
I
me.
wake up and my clothes are gone or I'm in jail. But I have a saying, other tequilas, the tequilas you're used to, they'll make you knock a woman down. Ours will make you knock a woman up. It is it's a very clean,
Oh,
fun. It's a
Jesus.
fun buzz.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, heck, your father, my brother, he's the portrait boy for
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just like, I love tequila, it just doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And he owns it. But it's funny because when we do get together and we're trying or sampling the Galan, man, I mean, he gets after it. He doesn't it doesn't affect him just because, like you said, I think with it's 100% agave. Um, if drunk without sugar containing items like a lot of syrupy margarita mix or whatever, and that's
Yeah.
when you went back to the whole lime juice and agave. Like, I mean, it's light in sugar. That's what causes the hangovers. Is all that sugar, but
Yeah.
they're agave, 100% agave. I mean, dude, you're not cloudy the next day. Always drink in moderation, regardless. But the better the product, in my opinion, obviously, the better you're going to feel the next day. And so, when that and tequila, and you're starting to see, we were talking the other day about like kind of mixing spirits with pairing spirits with food, like not just wine. When it's tequila, I mean, what do you guys commonly or often pairing it with when you guys are just grubbing down, having a Galan meeting, and what are you guys munching down with the product?
Well, it's tequila, so it's hard to steer clear of a taco, or any kind of Mexican food like that.
Mm-hmm.
But something light, and it is a clean product, so it doesn't necessarily like interfere with the food that you're having. So it also depends on which one you're drinking. The
Mm-hmm.
Añejo, it's got a nice bourbon feel. It goes great with the steak.
Nice.
The Cristalino, it's a little cleaner and it's pretty sharp. So something light like some fish or some chicken. And the Reposado has a nice rich barrel flavor.
Okay.
So any kind of like a creamy, kind of pasta,
Yeah.
or just something rich in flavor.
Something
to
that can
balance it.
cut through.
Yeah. Because the Reposado is rich in flavor, but not as rich as food. And
Yeah.
it's a nice balance. And the silver just goes with anything, really.
Yeah.
It's great they're all great by themselves, but the silver is definitely up. The silver and the Reposado are those where I find people can really drink with anything because it's just, they're good, they're clean, and they don't interfere with, they don't clout your palate. So you're not going to be sacrificing the meal for
It's not
spirit.
second fiddle. It's just dancing right there next to each other.
Yeah.
What's one common misconception about tequila you wish people understood, knew of, or had?
Well, like I was saying earlier, the whole aversion to it all, just because of an experience they had in their younger years, because they were probably drinking brands
Rot gut.
Yeah. It's something that is seen as, a crazy fight. You're just going to get into trouble.
Yeah.
It's one of those spirits that's seen as a trouble encourager. You know, it's going to bring out your bad side. Um, and something with this is that I had the same, you know, misconceptions being in the industry. I didn't really know much in the beginning, but um, just from personal experience, drinking it, you know, sparingly and then pretty heavily, it kind of changed my outlook on just the whole dark, but still fun side. Tequila is something people drink on vacation because they're trying to get wild, you know?
Yeah. They're trying to cut
Um,
loose or whatever.
yeah, and it's also one of the healthier, I guess, alternatives to drinking because of the agave. If you get a clean product,
There's
it's one of
zero
the
calories, right?
I don't know about that just
Pretty
because
damn light.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty clean, and in terms of spirit, it's the healthiest thing, um, not just calorically, but benefits for your health wise. A good clean reposado. I know people, you know, old school Mexicans, they take a shot in the morning. It's really good for your metabolism.
Mm.
Wake up, heat up water, squirt half a lime in there, warm lime water, and a shot of reposado. Really get your body and your blood flowing. Um,
Nice.
so there's a lot of benefits. Obviously, drink in moderation. I'm not saying you're gonna drink
Well,
the whole
sure.
bottle and go rule the world, but
Most of them think they
it's
can.
exactly, and that's where you end up in jail. It's part of the problem, but yeah, it offers a lot of um, just benefits. I'm not saying it's healthy, but relatively speaking to the other options out there, the whiskeys
Yeah.
and and the vodkas, and it's actually got a quantifiable like health benefit
Sure.
if taken in moderation, as opposed to other things. So not a lot of people know about that, and it's just kind of seen in this strange light. But yeah, it's something that I've had to turn a lot of people onto, and with doing tastings and people going, "Oh, I don't like tequila." Please just give it a sip. You
Yeah.
know,
Just give it a sip.
give it a sip. If you don't like it, I'll buy whatever it is that you're gonna leave
I'll
here
buy
with.
your Kentucky Deluxe on the
Yeah,
rocks.
I got you.
So what's the crowd favorite when you guys are, when your guys are out there? I mean, you're looking at your sales sheet. I mean, what are y'all packing the cases full of?
Numbers, it's the silver and the reposado. That would be the black bottle and the red bottle.
Okay.
Um,
Your favorite then next.
my favorite depends on the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I
So,
like it.
if I had to go with the favorite, it would be the reposado, just because it has a touch of complexity, but it's still smooth as butter.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy flavor. But I mean, the silver also, numbers wise, it's silver and reposado. But we have, like, if you were to look at a spreadsheet, you go, why do we even carry the añejo or the cristalino? Because relative to the first two, they just don't move.
Okay.
But I have,
However, yeah.
yeah, we have a little cult following that we've developed.
If you
And
cancel it, they're coming after you with pitchforks.
yeah, and they go,
Yeah.
where the hell's the blue bottle? Where's the
Yeah.
gold bottle?
Yeah.
And right now,
I could definitely see that.
yeah, and right now, because the añejo is aged in bourbon barrels, it's got that nice whiskey finish, and it's winter. So
Yes.
right now, a nice old fashioned, throw it in some eggnog, you know.
Ooh.
There's a lot to do.
It's
a lot of
not too late.
opportunities.
It's not too late.
Yeah.
We could go grab some eggnog and add that in.
Yeah, that's our next stop.
Yes, man. No,
HEB.
yes, it sounds amazing. Like, I'm super bummed that we didn't do any. Lo makes this holiday drink from it's a Dominican recipe called coquito, and it's like it's a coconut milk, rum, nutmeg, vanilla. It's like grind, like shredded vanilla, dude. It's fire. I bet you that with either a mezcal or the repo would be absolutely insane. Oh my gosh! Now, and again, I mean, so say I do buy the bottle, how can I maybe, is there a source or an avenue that I could go and look up recipes for your company's drinks, suggested recipes? Tell me, like, do y'all have, like, give me out, social media. It is at Tequila Galan.
At Tequila Galan.
Okay,
All one
perfect.
word. It's all sourced right there on our Instagram page. We're
Okay.
also on LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
But if you click on, if you go to our page, we have links to, where to buy it online, and also pairing suggestions and
Nice.
recipes. We're fiddling with the name,
Yeah.
different cocktail names, because
Sure.
it's a Galan and tonic.
Yeah.
That's just something simple everybody can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all about a cool cocktail name.
No, it really is. But I mean, like, one thing that I really liked was, you guys, give shout outs to every bar that you guys are placed in.
Yeah.
I mean, I know bars are really one of the better advocates to get it out there if that bartender is preaching the Galan gospel.
Mhm.
And that's what you need to name one of them drinks, the
Win.
Galan gospel.
You win the bartender, you win the war. So
Yeah, no, that's true. So if they're in the San Diego area, like in the California area, OC too, right? Like
OCLA, yeah.
Okay. So Orange County, Los Angeles, San Diego, Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, Temecula.
Temecula. Yes, man. So a lot of spots there, and then we'll throw in some others, I think, in Austin that Johnny's working with. And so yeah, if they want to find out, they just go to the link tree in Instagram, and it's got, how you can buy it here in Houston. What bars are in, or it's offered in. So that's really cool. Can't wait to see that list continue to just grow, man.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Best of luck, brother.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Appreciate you.
To Go Long Studios.
Yeah.
This is your first impression. What do you think?
It's nice.
It's nice.
Beautiful. They do a great job of making you feel at home.
Yes.
Doesn't have a porno vibe, which is pretty neat.
He shaved his mustache before he came in.
Yeah,
so.
I had to grow this out.
Flush Judgment. Here's the Flush Judgment.
Here's the Flush Judgment.
Yep, that's right.
Go Long Studios.
All right, Pablo. Good job, buddy. Happy New Year, bud.